So
Gabe, let me ask you, Gabe, when he talks about when Art was just saying about the transparency piece on there, I mean, what were your thoughts of that feeling for the weekend? And even if you want to give, if I guess as coming as a guest, right? What was what was one or two takeaways that you had from the weekend?
So, all right. So before I give you the takeaway, I just wanted to kind of echo what Art was saying,
right?
And that this particular venue kind of created a trustworthy atmosphere. Just the fact, and you guys were already saying it, just the fact that we agreed to come, you knew you're going to be around men. So everybody there is of the mindset that there might be some type of vulnerability. So just by being at this venue, it attracted trustworthy men. Whereas different events, other events that you go to, it may not be that way. I mean, right now, I'm not looking over on my shoulder. I'm not sitting there squinting at everything y'all are saying, trying to find out if you guys have ulterior motives. Like we're well past that because we bonded, right? Because this venue attracted a certain type of men. So it created the atmosphere for trustworthiness. And I'm not, I'm not looking over my shoulder saying, oh, he's just trying to get something out of this. He's just trying to do, we're not.
That's so good, man. That is so
with
good.
One eye open.
That's a great observation.
So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's so good. And I want to highlight that for a moment because we were there talking about how we have, because the Rittenhouse thing had just come down or whatever, and Ahmaud Arbery case hadn't closed yet.
Monday.
So we were talking about all of that, right? And we were saying like there's additional things that as a Black man that you have to deal with, that you already got to deal with what everybody else has to deal with.
Yeah.
And then it's like extra pieces that are in there. So for the moments that you can tear down.
Let me highlight real quick what Gabe just did.
Right.
He did throughout the weekend.
Right.
He was shining a light on just those pieces. Like, let's not just move past this.
Right.
Yeah,
take a look at this real quick.
That's right.
He did that throughout the weekend, and he's so humble. He's so humble and soft spoken that it drew everybody's attention in when he spoke.
Crazy.
And
slow it all the way down. I like how you said that, Marvin. He got us to slow it all the way down and look into what we were actually. You're absolutely spot on.
That's true. That is, and because as men, we normally like.
Yeah.
As men, that's how we normally going. We just gonna deal with the big level. We don't always, because we don't have time to do this. We just kind of like we running. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? Let me just say one thing. And I noticed this from everybody that arrived. Kiana didn't have to introduce none of us to each other. When we arrived, we all spoke to each other. Even
right, that's real.
For Art, we met Art. Gabe and I met Art in the parking lot. We met Elam outside in the right before the whole event started.
Right.
Marv came through the door, was like, "Yo, yeah, you the Marv we were supposed to be going with." So
Elam met Art twice. He met him as the cameraman, and he met him without the mask.
That was funny. Oh, that's you. Oh, okay.
He had me on blast too. He had me on blast. I was like, hey.
Hey man, the mask. Blame it on the mask, dude.
So you knew
right. Elam said, "Hey Art, when you see the cameraman, let him know that I said."
He did get me. You got that. So,
I just wanted to highlight that, man. We trusted that process
right
so big that we came there. It's like, yo, whatever happened, let it happen. And as men, like you was just saying, sometimes we have that ego, sometimes we have that pride. Sometimes one person want to be more dominant than the other. It was none of that, man. It was just like, we were just literally like, all right, God is the dominance here, and we just here to learn. That was it.
I think it's real humbling. We rode past maybe 20 Confederate flags climbing up those mountains in Georgia.
At least
like 50.
that's enough to make any black man humble by the time you make it to the top of the mountain. So
that's a real, but we all said that though. That's the funny, for those of you who are listening, Marvin saying that, but we all said the same thing. We're like,
Facts.
did you think about, yeah, oh my God, I thought the same, oh my God, I don't want the sun to go down. The fact that we as black men, we were driving up, you know, and Gabe, I'm sorry, I'm gonna come back to it because he just set me off when he said that, because the fact that we had to think a thought that no other culture has to think other than black women.
Yeah.
Nobody else has to think about this.
Nobody else does.
If the sun goes down and there's no street lights and I'm driving a nice vehicle, somebody's gonna try to stop me just because.
You even said about all of us talk about a full tank of gas too. All of us said that we need to make sure we had a full tank.
We don't even know each other, and we all thought the same. And you're not talking to a bunch of bums. These are men. None of us knew each other, but we were all, as you can already hear, everybody got some sense, right? And we all thought the same thing.
Yeah.
What was you saying, Marvin?
Yeah, but you don't even have to be in a nice car. Like just being a black man and driving through the cities that we had to drive through in order to get to where we was at. We were driving through probably 100% white communities that were proudly flying the Confederate
it was this
flag.
Duck Dynasty the whole way for like an hour. The last hour straight.
And none of us wanted to stop at a store, a gas station.
Man. None of that, bro. I made sure I had a full tank of gas, and I was primarily driving by myself. So for me, I made sure I had 12 hours worth of light. I was not gonna be nowhere where I got 45 minutes to get to the nearest street light. I wasn't playing that game when I was there. It was just not gonna happen.
Here's the thing. This is the reason why we've been toying with and actually moving forward with Black Table Talk. So Phil, you guys will hear about that coming forward, because just having a conversation like this, we're laughing because only we're able to laugh. Because if anybody, any other culture, even if a black woman sat there and laughed, to a certain degree, we're kind of like, that's not funny. You know what I'm saying? But we're able to kind of, but let's just be real, men. Black women can kind of say it, and we kind of like, all right, cool. Anybody else, we're looking at them like, I really walk around with this thought.
Right.
It's not good. You person don't ever have to worry about thinking about the lights or the stuff like, you don't have to think about that. Lights go down, we like, you don't have to think about it.
And then just the more educated you are, the more you understand how can I have a reasonable interaction in dealing with we're trying to be good Americans. We're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to build the community. We're trying to be entrepreneurs. We're trying to be proud Americans. Yet you're flying a flag that represents a segment of America that rebelled against the American government.
Fundamentally, let's not even mince words with that. I think, Marvin, that is so important that you highlight that, because every time we see that, there's a different narrative about it. But that's a fact point.
Absolutely. So the thought of us having to deal with law enforcement, even in our inner cities, dealing with law enforcement is something we don't want. But dealing with law enforcement to where they come from a community that proudly flies a flag that says, I love the time when you were a slave, because this is what this side fought for. This is all this side was about.
And then had the nerve to call it heritage, man. Get that. It's so disrespectful. It's this dear white people, okay? I don't care how you put this.
Let's deal with that. Yeah.
I don't care how you put this. You can call it heritage. You can tell me that your uncle fought in that war. Damn your uncle, okay? Because he fought to keep my people down. There's no way that you can ever put that in a light that I'm going to understand it. I will always rebel against it. There's nothing good about it. So if you have a tattoo that you got even back when you was 25 and it's still on you, like I'm still side-eyeing you. Even if you say that, because I've seen that. There's people who have, your little thing in your ear. Don't think we don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and so if you try to act like you cool, man, we will never, ever be okay with your flag, ever.
And a later date, at a later date, at some point, I know we're going to get a chance to dig into that, especially when it comes to the economics around how America has been created in this particular dynamic or dichotomy of the country as we currently know it, how effectuated it is in their community because of their choices years ago for others. Those chickens have come home to roost on their houses now, and they in effect dug holes that they thought others were gonna fall in, and they have fallen into those holes.
You about to take us into the black table talk topic,
Yeah.
dog. You know,
And
we go 4 hours on that right there.
Look here. Hey,
and ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing what happened at the table that night.
Right.
2-3 hours of this. You know what I'm saying?
We're not doing this to appease or please people that may or may not like the content of this. This content, for me, causes us to free not only us, but those that are listening. And you're going to get these kind of black men at a table. You better be careful before you walk in here, assuming that this is a kumbaya moment for the nation. That's not what's happening. And Marvin, you said this at best at the retreat. There are no programs whatsoever that addresses the damage that has been caused to black men.
Come on.
Oh boy.
Come on.
No program.
There are none. And you know what? Listen, I'm gonna take that clip.
Transgender. There's one for the transgender. There's one for the LGBT. They not even 1% of the country.
Yep.
And this issue just came to bear in the last 15 years. And they are about 25 to 30% of all the policy decisions. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a different conversation for me.
Whole different, and it's not, and let's just be very clear. This is not saying push somebody else down so that we can come up. No, that's not what you're talking to. You're not talking to anybody who's we're not asking for a stimulus. We're not asking for, listen, you ain't even got to give me reparations. You know what I'm saying? Let's start with step one. Recognize what we're saying. Okay. That why is there no program?
Right. Really,
we have organizations that are, even, whether it's Divine Nine, whether it's 100 Black Men, whether it's, the Emerging 100, we have different stuff like that.
Step one isn't what anybody can do for us. Step one is get out my way when I'm trying to do something for myself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Don't assassinate Marvin Cotton or Elam King or Art Bright or Gabe Simmonds. Don't assassinate us when we stand up in our communities and accept responsibility for our communities. Don't assassinate our character. Don't make us look bad or try to find the worst decisions or the worst things we ever done with our life to kind of justify us not doing good in our communities. Just get out the way. That's like step one. Step one is take your hands off and get out the way.
Oh my God.
Facts though.
And listen, Gabe, you can go ahead and do the benediction at this moment. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We're done. We're done here. Let's get out my way. Because I'm trying to do my thing. Just get out my way.
I have not heard anybody outside of Black men eloquently describe exactly what you said, because my wife will tell you, I told her this same thing. I said, ain't nobody dealing with us the way we deal with it. I said, and the fact remains, if those folks just remove themselves entirely out of our process, we would actually be a lot more advanced.
Right. It's impossible to be a healer and a destroyer at the same time. I can't fight in war with you while I'm trying to heal my people.
Man, you preach.
That's it. Hey, that's it.
Oh man, we done?
Don't do that, Marvin. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Because that speaks in so many directions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We've all had a nurse, that kind of had a bad day or an attitude while she's trying to get the needle in our arm.
Come on.
It don't feel too good,
Oh,
and we can't be the type of men that's trying to do good for our community, but we in a bad mode all the time because of what we're fighting and struggling with in other areas of our life, or just because we're a black man, we going through things in life, and yet we still have to do good in our community. Our community is going to get a bit of that. Even no matter how hard we try, our community is going to get a bit of that hurt.
yeah. Good. That's a good point.
And that's why the retreat was so important. For those of us, all of us that's doing good in our communities, because it gave us a chance to kind of deal with some things so that we can be better healers.
Right.
Right. Be better healed.
I like that. Better healers.
Better healed so we can be better healers.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
And I want to just
good.
encourage any man who is not, and I want to close out with Gabe. I want to still get the two things from you that you walked away with, and because I know you're gonna pull that, that magnifying glass out and go in on it. So are you gonna go ahead? I'm listen, no pressure, but I know you're gonna do it. So
very granular.
Like what are two things that you walked away with, or where you healed at, or just what did you walk away with from the weekend?
So the biggest thing for me is an awareness, and maybe you guys coming into this were aware of it, or maybe you were ignorant like I was, but the biggest thing was the awareness of how fragile the African American psyche, or the African American male mindset could be, because of everything that we're facing in society. We got together because that's Kiana's whole ministry right there, is that the Black man is being neglected. So I want to bring them together because they are dealing with a whole lot more than we know. I mean, we've talked about it. You guys talked about it extensively. The fact that as soon as you see red and blue lights behind you, you're not thinking about how much is this ticket going to cost.
Oh boy.
That's not the first thing that's running through our minds. And like you all said, no other culture, nobody else has to think about that except for us. Then we're fighting the stigma of we're not good fathers. We're not good husbands. We can't keep jobs. We're always fighting an uphill battle. Always fighting an uphill battle. The society, this world, and we know that it's systematically designed to keep us down. Even right now, in a culture where that is, you can call progressive, we're kind of in a progressive world, right? Where let everybody think what they think. Everybody has their own truth. If a child wants to do whatever, let him do whatever. If a little kid wants to do whatever, let him do whatever. Y'all mentioned it. We have LGBTQ community. Let everybody do whatever they want to do because they're speaking their truth. Let Black men do what we want to do and see what happens.
Right.
Why is
Come
it
on,
progressive for everybody else to do what they want to do,
sir,
to speak their truth? But as soon as the Black man wants to do it, we're shut down.
It's a problem.
Like it's crazy, and I was convicted because I wasn't aware of. Wow, we all really are battling stuff emotionally and mentally, far more intrinsic, far more deep than any other race, any other culture. And that was, my biggest takeaway of that evening. I was literally convicted. Like, how did you not know that 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 we need stuff like this? How did you not know that men's retreat is a necessity,
Because it's and I
not
want to
just
take
a luxury?
I want to take that into a step just real quick because it's so layered and it's like we're literally, somebody said an analogy, we literally have shaken hands every day with misery. And wait, Marvin, was that you? Marvin, you said that to me, right?
Well, on the last show, I talked about how you have to
Yeah, you said
collaborate
that.
with misery. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Marvin had me thinking like, oh man, but we were talking about it from a relationship perspective. But over here in this area, Gabe, to your point, like you said, even though you're experiencing it yourself, and it's still even hard for us to see the layers because we're just kind of like, nah, I've been dealing with that for so long.
Right.
But if somebody peeled off the layers, let's just be honest. Last year, I had white people say to me, "Oh my gosh, I never knew ABC 1, 2, 3," and I'm sitting there like, "How you don't know?"
Yeah.
But then even to yourself, Gabe, you're saying, "Oh my gosh, how did you not even know this level of fragility existed?" That's deep.
Yeah. So it was.
That's not hyperbole.
Two things.
We see that as hyperbole.
No, not at all.
So Elam, now you got to go back and you got to apologize to your white friends for not believing them.
It's almost to the point where I got to I apologize to myself, particularly like I didn't even know how the depths of how fragile man saying that. I did not realize the depths of how fragile my mind was in some of these areas because I've literally dealt with it for so long. And I feel like that, I just got used to this fragility and it's wrong.
Well, you know how you put a lot of clothes on, you can feel the heaviness immediately. But imagine being born clothed, with heaviness. You never realize that it's there until you shed it. You never know. You never know that you're carrying around all this heaviness of being, a black man. To having to always prove yourself, walking around the store, making sure that you don't appear to be doing anything wrong. You're just in the store shopping. But you know that it's an extra layer. I don't want no problems. I don't want nobody approaching me. I don't want nobody to think I'm doing anything wrong. I don't want nobody calling the police. So who the hell thinks about this stuff? We think about this stuff.
Right. That's real.
We carrying around all of this heaviness. This is energy and pressure being placed on the brain that should naturally be being placed in other places.
Come on, sir. There's still energy being used. That's real.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wonder why, my energy is not being placed into the community the way that it's supposed to, because I'm too busy worried about what your community is thinking about me.
Right.
And trying to survive.
Yeah.
And that's not an excuse because, and I'm sure all of us can attest to this. That's not an excuse.
Right.
Because soon as you forget to do the things that you need to do in order to keep yourself protected, you'll be walking around willy-nilly and find yourself in a situation almost entitled, like, in a world that's built against us thinking that way.
Right.
We have to be on guard.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So see, Gabe, every time you bring up a point, we're gonna go like 30 minutes. So now you got you got the last one. But listen, I love it. I love it. You got to go to the last point though, Gabe. We got to get out of here. We're gonna have to do a part 5. I'm already gonna have to break this up into like 2-3 points because I knew we was gonna go.
Definitely.
I knew we were gonna go.
Yeah, man.
But you know what though? You know what?
Though.
I want to say that in jest. I want to echo what Marvin just said because for a moment, even in this moment, even though what Marvin just said is 100%, we're still unpacking it. We're dealing with a lot. As black men, we're dealing with a lot. And I want to say to my sisters, understand that that's the reason why we even need you even more, or whoever that you happen to be attached to. If you are married to a black man, if you are dating a black man, you're dating a different type of man. I know all men are different, but we're telling you, what's up?
We wouldn't have made it to this point in our history without the black woman helping us make it to this point.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And with the advances that we're looking to do, You can see that. I mean, it's us times hundreds of thousands of us that are here. We're starting to talk right now. We need to do a better job, man, of doing that. We need to do a better job of going to conferences and being vulnerable and being transparent. And when it happens, it's a the word freeing is not deep enough. It's kind of like the level of release I was actually able to do for that weekend of just saying,
Yeah.
But can I add on to that real quick?
Go ahead.
You gotta be truthful to yourself as a black man on the healing that you need, and in order to trust other people and be vulnerable and all of that, you gotta be truthful to yourself and say, listen, I'm going in here, hands down, open-minded. That's a lot of times we don't go places open-minded, man. I've had a brother told me that the other day, like, yo, why you always open-minded? I'm like, it's a bad thing. I'm like, it's a
Wait,
bad
why are you
thing.
always thinking why are you always being positive?
Right.
What?
Why you always thinking?
Yeah, like let's
Thinking.
just go there. Why are you always thinking? Really?
So,
Wow.
It's a real mentality. But go ahead though. This is why we got to do what we got. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this is exactly why we got to do what we got to do, man. But definitely be open-minded and be truthful with yourself. Be very truthful with yourself because
I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, I hope he don't watch this show because y'all relationship might need some counseling after that.
Yo, no, please send this to him. I got about another 20 episodes I need him to listen to just cause. But you know what though? What we're supposed to do as we strengthen ourselves, we're supposed to turn around and strengthen the person who might not be where we're at. And so
we
that's
agreed.
where
We agreed to do that. We actually agreed to do that at the retreat. That all
that's
of
where
us
we
are
are.
going to be intentional and identifying where we can mentor and pour our energy into. We all agreed to that. All of the men there.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, Gabe.
All right. So the last one is a positive note. So two things. The first one, I was convicted, and then the second one is I got confirmation. There are so many good brothers in this world.
Come on, sir.
I don't care what the numbers or the statistics try to say.
Right.
They are. I met them, and that's what I took away. That's the other thing that I took away from the retreat. When I met all of you all, I was like, oh, it's some outstanding brothers.
Right.
Not just good brothers, not just barely getting by brothers.
Straight random too,
brothers.
and it was straight random.
Man,
we ain't never know each other.
Random pick.
We 2 weeks old. So if you can randomly select out of the 7.5 billion people on the planet, if you can randomly select what are we 15% of the population, something like that. If you can, and then you have to zero, and that's a black and white. I'm assuming that's black people, period. And then what? Out of that, you got to pick out black men randomly, and we happen to all click. And like we got sense and degrees and and organizations and just next level stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
We're gonna get into that. I'm glad you pointed that out because that is a very real scenario that does not get talked about.
That's why I want to highlight. Like, we're not gonna let this stuff just drive by.
Good. That's real good.
We're not gonna let this stuff just
did like
by.
this. Put your hand in the pot, and you came out with all of that quality.
All of that. Come on now.
Random. That's very fascinating. Do tell.
Well. Random. Okay, but remember, Q, was pretty intentional on, trying kind of bringing us together too. So
that's true.
It came through the eyes and the hands of somebody that's brilliant. She's brilliant. At what she do. So I don't know if she knew she was putting together what came together, but I think she knew she was gonna cook a pretty good meal.
That's where even to her credit as well, because y'all, some of you might have known her longer than I, but other than just the social media and we had talked like once or twice, that was it. So, and I think Marvin, you said you might have been the same or whatever. So, but that's a deeper spiritual level, that I know had a lot to do with it. And we got hey Cobb over there, you know what I'm saying, Cobb. We about to get out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we about to. I know I've got to get off this line.
David,
what's going on, David?
Come on, David.
What's up,
brother?
What's up, man? What's up?
Look at you.
We can't hear.
It's always one.
David, like David sent us his animated version of himself.
You muted, David.
Hey, you can't have it titled anger management and come in here and me mugging.
You muted though. You muted.
Hey, I've got to go.
And a bad connection.
I've got to leave, Elam. I've got to leave because.
Oh yeah, go and do your thing, Art. We're gonna talk soon, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
hey, Art, how can they follow you for any photography stuff, sir?
I mean, my Instagram page at Art Bright Photography. A film page is gonna launch soon because I've been so busy in the lab. It's been a little difficult, but once things settle down, I've got some exciting stuff that's gonna happen. I've got a film short series that's going to start releasing here really soon that I just produced with a young lady as well. So I've got some stuff that's about to release, but you can go to Art Bright Photography and check me out, man. If you're interested, hit me up, DM me on something that you're trying to do, and I'll be glad to coach you through it and see what's happening.
Appreciate you, man. And as we're doing that, I really want everybody. Absolutely, man. We're gonna talk soon, Art. And while we're there, if anybody else, Dave, we're gonna let you close it out since you wanted to ride in like that at the last second because we only got a couple of more minutes. But while we're saying how everybody can find everybody, just go around the room real quickly of your organizations and where people can find you or see you. Or I know, Brooks, you got a toy giveaway coming up, so let everybody know about that as well. Whoever want to go first, don't matter.
I'll go first. I actually got two organizations, guys. One of them is called I Like to Help Foundation Incorporated. That's my nonprofit. That's the one that's actually doing the toy drive this year. We normally do a toy Saturday, December 18th. You can follow us on Instagram at I Like to Help Foundation. And also I got CMS for Young Black Men. That's pretty much it's called Christian Motivational Speaker for Young Black Men. And that's where we build and empower Black men. And also to follow that one is CMS on Instagram is CMS for Young Black Men.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Gabe, Marvin, David.
I'll get mine out the way because Elam has already gotten on me and I still haven't progressed. And
right.
He's
gonna give his nieces. Y'all write down his nieces or nephews. He's about to give you his niece or nephew handle, y'all. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't give your phone number, brother. Don't give your phone number.
My wife handles social media, so reach out to my wife, Cheryl Simmons or Miss Simmons is her IG handle. We've her and I started a ministry for His Glory Ministries. That's a baby, brand new in the process. Again, we just our focus is just spreading the gospel, spreading the good news to the world. Right now, we're real active at our church at Do Life Open Bible Church. You can check out the work that we do there, nllb.org. But I got to do better about social media. Elam's gonna keep holding me accountable.
Yeah, we're gonna get you though. Gotta put you on the prayer list for social media. All right. So, what's up, Marvin?
Marvin Cotton Jr. at Facebook and www.betternotbrokenllc.org. You can, stay up on the latest things that I have going on, and follow my inspirational and positive quotes and stories that I place on both. But yeah, definitely check out my website, and I look forward to connecting with anybody that's trying to connect.
Absolutely. And we're going to wrap it up with Sticky Fingers. I mean, we're going to wrap it up with David. Tell me he don't look like Sticky Fingers. Look real quick, y'all. Come on. Did I lie? Tell me did I lie? When y'all watch the YouTube, I got him right there. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Put the hoodie on. That's it. All day. Your new name is Sticky Fingers for real. All right. David, but we were talking earlier, man. If you just want to introduce yourself, we're actually about to get out of here. You're going to have to be on the part 2, man, because we've been on for like an hour. But definitely want people to know what your organization is.
I got to get out of here, Elam.
Huh?
I got to get out of here.
You said I got to get out of here?
I said I got to get out of here.
Yeah. I know. That's why I want to tell David, go on and give us your intro and your outro. Go ahead.
Dave, you muted, Dave.
And then it's in this. Come on, man.
You got to take yourself off mute, brother.
All right, y'all. And this is the Understanding a Man podcast. We want to thank everybody for listening. And y'all stay tuned for the black table talks. We have Marvin Cotton, Cleavlon Brooks, Gabe Simmonds, Art Bright, and David.
No big.
I'll be flying to Atlanta
for having us, brother.
Oh, hey, Marvin, that's what's up, sir.
I'm coming in.
I'll be flying down there to check you out soon.
All right, man, we definitely gonna talk. Hey, David, can you just say bye to us or something, David? Can you?
There you go. There you go.
Hey, no boys.
Hey, David, I see you soon. I'm coming down there soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be down there in I get 40 years up too, man.
Oh wait, y'all about to have a reunion?
About to have a reunion, man.
Bro, that's so funny.
All right, please.